Good morning, Talofa, and welcome to the Silafia podcast. So I'm here with Bridget, our guest from last week. How are you, Bridget?
Man weer afzij.
Yeah, we are going to continue about your role in the community as a soap. Last week we talked about your connection with the court, and then we talked about your connection with the police and what your
Advocates.
advocate for our people. So, for instance, a scenario for let's say, for instance, o whaia se mea wā whaina I lo to o lua. Ma ere mā whanau la ite to o wha to o lua ia teine to o lua tama e maile tausanga I tolu I sifuru lima. O le ala wā whaina ma o isa wanga I tonu le ainga. Our vili la the neighbor, our neighbor rang the police, and the police turn up, and they turn up with you. What do I expect from you?
Well, I really think there is no expectation from your side because really you don't really know me. But it's part of my role and my responsibility to clarify why I'm there, what am I doing there, and what is my role. So le au ngala le au onanga le nei, o le me mua la vai pe ona I tātou lawe ia anganu e a foi. E whamatala o lo ingoa lea o le ala o ngā ruenga. A o le ala o whasau ta inga ma leo leo ua ala on o taunu o atu ilo ma o tai tu sai ma le mata upu. Ia o I fo elai mai e yelo sa lo tonga e te ioi mai. Pele ai. Pe mawhai ona o whesosoani la mata upu e so ta i oi man. Ai fua lai tu ngā mata upu. But the main reason why I'm there is because of the connection with the police officers in regards to the children and women. So when it comes to domestic violence, I'm automatically on board. Or not just myself, there are other networks that we do connect and they'll come on board purely because of our culture connection and our culture, the formalities that we do have.
What are the challenges that you face with our people when you turn up in that situation?
I'm going to answer this in English first and then I'll translate it. I think the biggest challenge with that regard is our people automatically think of the word, oh, here we go, one person to come and gossip, they want to, put their nose in our business. But o le mea sa o lawa ia, e pe ona tā o le fisili mua, e mawhai ona whaatata noina, ma whamatala, le mafua anga o lo taunu watu I lo mauta, I le whapea unofo o ilo le mea te alalai, o le fisota inga ma leo, le a renga o ona o walu atu o te fisosoani la mata upu, pe e a foi, ona lau tamaiti, ai lei amataina le tātou mata upu, e iaia sa o tō ngai whamatala toi la unga luenga. E pēla e ta watu lau ingoa ma la unga luenga. A toi e pe o le upu le whapalangi, I always have to ask for your consent. Pe okay, pe e whetau I matala whea ngai, I lo loto malia sa o loto, e te I oi mai ei, o te whasaswani lo mata utu ma o so o upu e le wao oi ma leo. Ai o le, e pe o le luitau lea, e a tangata tō whapeo e whee, la fō mai lau whetatala ma le au whai news, ai le ai o le au nanga lawa ia. We are very abide by the rules and conditions in regards to confidentiality and privacy. So, e whaamanino fō ila, o a uma mea tala no inga I le nei au nanga mai whisota inga, e le whapi ma whaiun tala noi nei whafo atu o lo mauta pe a umale mata upu. Se vangana ai, o iei ni fasile leo leo i whaamanino e se mea i leo malam na male iei. Ona toe mātou whasotai o mātou lana tano anga wai sila fia foi. Wa umana whaila o statement i leo leo. Ia, ai ai la se mea i leo manino i leo leo. E fasili mai la ona o tātou anga numa pe whaatata inga o lo suafa le spela ina o lo suafa mea nai whaamanino. Au nisi mea i tua atu e le ai e lima whaintala noi nei whafu atu lo mauta mata upule.
Aftai mo le mai whaasoa. O te fia turi loa lava le tūlanga le i te tonu o le foile ai le vaenga le ua tupu nei i lo tangata foi mo se whaatei ta inga mo lo ua inga ma lau whanau. A wā pe o le foile o le whaafita uli o tūlai mai between myself and my wife. Ai pe la le a whaina i le whanau. O le a tonu as se fiso soania a outou e alai whanau po oe pe eisisi to ai ngā tangata pe whanonga i mua ka o child protection officer o le ale o whea o mai eta o nā whea po le a tonu le taimi e apia mai e to ai ngā tangata whape tonu o le scenario le po le mele o tupu.
Yeah. Well, the role of, as you mentioned, child protection officers are pretty much self-explanatory. When there's children involved, they automatically come on board, especially if the children are minors, under the age of, I think, 18. They automatically come on board. So, olo au nanga lai le tūlanga lea, ona o tamaite e a foi. E lalo le tausanga whaatūlanga i nei, le whaawasinga i nei tātou whamaile o e matua. Yeah, I think the 18 was full walo tausanga whamai o tamatiti matua. O le au nangala a mātou nei e whasosoani la, wai e eile le aiata tau, a leo, ma child protection officers. E ave ese maita maiti pa whapios tūlanga sawanga o tinama, tamaitai ma whanau. E mawhaina ave ese ta maiti mai i lau puipuinga, po o matua, po tama, patetainga. Ai ole au nanga la mātou, e whesosoani, e sueni a inga Samoa, e mawhai ono lātou maaieta maiti taimpupu ulea o tama whaipo le a tonu le, po o whia tonu lawe i eile mata uputa le awele ofisa wa masino. Ia, mapupuinga foi o tina matamaitai o po o tina o nei tamaiti nei. In fact, there are specialized child protection officers. There are Samoans, but they are actually based all around Sydney. But automatically, if police can reach out to our people to come on board, they can. But if they can't turn up straight away, then they just have to alert I think DCJ, Department of Community and Justice. And because in Australia, when it comes to children, there's red flags all over the place. They will come. Wherever they are, they will come. Whether it's after hours, they will come.
More child protection officer.
It doesn't matter, 24 hours, they will come. They will come. E pe ila o le ngaluenga la, le na, ale eile o nanga le nei o le watue. E tama whaila le, why, it's not easy for someone, children, to be removed and then put them with
different ethnic family.
Everything different. But perhaps if we removed our children and put them with a Samoan family, there's a lot of familiarity with like the language, the food, the place, and everything. Everything's like familiar, although they have been moved from home. But it's like moving from home to another home, because there's a lot of similarities that, in the new family. But that's only temporary, although there are other children who have been removed permanently due to the complexity of the issue with domestic violence/family violence.
Okay, thank you for all that information and that explanation. Because you've been dealing with this type of work for how many years now?
So I have been in a community service for 15 years. But to be an advocate for the community is probably more than 8 years.
So if you put a number on cases like relate to our people, what numbers of cases that you dealt with as a sort of upu for the police?
I can say in the last 12 months is actually more than 100.
More than 100.
So that's last 1 year or last 12 months is more than 100. So my les fulua masin taluai o mai nei bimbo o vatu man se lautanga taif so swani le nei au au nanga.
I lau so swani atu.
Yeah, now les fulua masina. But I've lost count of
How
the
many
last
cases that you
But
dealt with?
from the count that I have, that's I can remember. Why e foi nei tangata I always tell so swani ai le fa mau la lola tu suafama.
So can you explain, in cases like this, we talked about culture-sensitive issues, and you mentioned Talanoa. Talanoa, you talk about the couple, or do you talk with somebody else in your group of people about the issue too? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to separate the children from their parents unless it's... Can you explain a little bit more? What's the priority here? Because I know the police priority is to lock up and let the law deal with it. What is your objective to the scenario? When you get there, there's children involved. Obviously, the child protector officer, it's her role is to protect the children, no matter what. So you coming in and you mentioned something about cultural sensitive issues. What's the benefit of actually doing that type of discussions or representing our culture to make sure this situation move forward in a positive manner?
Well, I think
or positive outcome?
I'll answer this two part of your question is culture sensitive and what is my role. My role is to make sure that the child protection officers do have an understanding of the reasoning behind if they are going to remove the children. My role is to make sure the children are removed from their home, from parents, to another home who are the children are familiar with culturally. But the culture sensitive, it's sama faile e so taile nga no palangi ma tato wa tato ya la tato formalities e faunga be o le talanoa ia o mo child protection officer ma fa matala ia le mafua anga e te tauna ai ta tato le tu se si ai nga sa mo o se si ai nga Pacifica e mala ma fa ngo fi tamit ona ma fa tono ai nei a wā a whaapea e se tamiti sa motu ai ngā pālangi e te lea le awhia ngā tamiti. Ona la, e le māsangi le ngangana, e le māsangi, they might understand the language, e le māsangi le e se la tō anganu. So, pe o tātou, e le pole alawa le mea o le amatanga o mea o le lotu, e whaai ufa le lotu. Ia, pe o atu wane ai ngā pālangi e le whaini lotu. E mea tamenti wai le masani ai. lo au nanga lai pe whaamalamalama ati I tangata ia. Pea whai un tangata e se ia o atu o Child Protection Officer e ave e se tamaiti. Pe ua tali le pesini.
Nga whaftai, tai mo le whasoa fo ia, for all our viewers, I'm here with Bridget. Bridget is a social worker, and he wear a few hats in it. So we are talking about her role as a so'opu between the police and families. Ainga ia wa afia I sa wanga po mawhatianga foi o te tupu tono ainga. So there's still more discussions that we have to continue. I just want to go back to your role as a so'opu in a courthouse. Wa le te vai sa no ai fo I le ba so le o te e kele lau linki mo loia I loia leini loia sa moa pe loia palang. E mawhai ona e whalau I te le so swani fo ia sia te mai tai po sia fo I tina o longa lue ma so swani I nai o tātou tangata fo I o lo mawhatia I mei o tulafunu.
Ia, o le taimine I olo ia le so o ta inga ma le whainga paanga ma se tinalo ia. E leo se Samoa. Ai e fesosoani o tātou tangata I tūla I molo mata upu I le ofisa whamasinonga pe a whape mana o mia fesosoani. Ia po se whautuanga foi. Ia o se tina e leo se tangata Samoa o le Irish. She's Irish. But wa umana whamatatala ia I o tātou anganu. Ia o malama foi la se tina I le ia tātou ma tātou anganu. E tele ala o lona taimi whaavanoa mo tātou pia whape mana o mia. So it's a time, she can actually come in 24 hours to help. Whatever hours that you need her, she can come in to help you. But ole fisota inga la e te tauna iai a le o au. Iai na isi tangata tātou e fisosoani whali upu le wao o e pia whape e le mawhai ona whaamtatala ina la mata upu. E whali upu le wao stina lea o noi le o tangata anu.
Ia, o le ala wa ta o le swafa o si tina lea.
Anne.
O Anne. O le whai o Anne. E le ino whai.
Ia, e talua i le ia mai se whatangana lea tina e tau atoa e luna ia whailua atoa e luna. Ai o pe o le pokalame e lea sila fia e tauna fisa o taime tangata e pokalame ona refer la I o lo mata upu. Ai e le ia se whatangana tina lea I.
Ia wale e se ato I ngalo ia I lota ia foi I loa ia I mata ia foi malam la I titi ai. O le ale to I ngalo ia le ia le tina lea.
O Anne is a barrister. So the barrister I maulunga to lo solicitor. But I know there's a criminal lawyer and there's all different commercial lawyers. But they be o tangata tole o na mata o puia e ele so I know tinamta my time whanau. Yeah, that in itself it's classed as a criminal. They need a criminal lawyer. So and it's a crime. So le mena le ia o na nga Anne.
E langi cases for ngale be was o for ngale o solo fua o represent nga na eu tātou tangata o solo fua isi tina fo I le lona ia tu lai mai as a lawyer.
E ole tele o mata upu e tula I le tinai I ofisa whamasinonga e sui tūlanga I tātou. Whape le iwas fulu o vaselau pasene I a tangata E manu malo ele ke se e tula ele tina mo tātou. She is a fighter. And within the ratio of 100%, there's about 90% of successful court cases that Anne handles or represents for our people. Yeah.
Malo le. Ia, e sisi vaenga I te fia tala noa ia I le vaenga leo I le foi le whanamasino e te sina fia e te tawana I loa na I o tātou tangata.
Ia, nā te toi whamanatu lawa a whapio o e le I so sauloia. E whamanatu I le office au Legal Aid po e te whasili luma I le te sile luma e le Legal Aid e au nanga Legal Aid. I wha ule e lau mata upu ma ai fo se whaktuanga fo I petu la I fo se sau la tō mo lau mata upu. Pea whapio uti taimi su e sauloia. So any courthouse, there's always legal aid representatives there. If you need any legal advice or any to stand for your case, they are available at any courthouse.
So se whana le whamasino lava ro ia so swani lea. E whanda na mālo e whanda na mālo e so swani na I tangata fo I le ausia ia fo ia lo ia tangata ia pe o le tinale ia Anne.
Yeah, well, Anne is a barrister, which means her fees are higher, much higher than the solicitor. But Anne is very generous to our people, and we already have an agreement that she's going to be, decent, like with her fees, and just to help our people.
Okay. This is the moment I want to ring the bell. So we're going to ring the bell. Before I ring the bell, I just want a minute silent because what happened to that girl, she was a water polo coach that died in the school for her, because it's all domestic violence in my understanding. So let's have a minute silence, and then I'll ring the bell. Yeah, you can ring the bell now. I'll give you the honor to ring the bell. Thank you. The bell is there to keep reminding Silafia and keep reminding everybody out there that we need to talk about this issue, and hopefully that we can minimize and prevent this from happening more often. Last week we talked about what precautions did you take to prevent your girls and your sons from sexual violence. Now, because of technology we have now and how fast things are, and I just want to ask you, what do you, as a mother, do to make sure that your kids understand abuse can actually enter to the family through technology?
Well, my two older children are young adults now, so that's out of my control, but that does not stop me from still reminding them of the cyberbullying. But with the two young ones, they're 16 and 13, so there's a restrictions at home with the Wi-Fi connection, and there's always monitoring on what they're going through, what they're watching, what they can access, what website they can access in that regards. So, you know, I do go through from my own laptop at home and have a look what website they've looked at. And also talking and reminding the children of how, for sexual violence, how sick people can access their or profile by talking to strangers. So it's a constant reminder and constant talking. If I'm not telling no if I know le ta ua le if I'm not know le internet, ma tama faila vai e vava ai po fe o ia internet website le if I'm not tamait. A wai o tangata e whale tu nola tō mawhawhau le tupu e whala blabi whanau. E mawhai e la tōna sua so se awala. E o mai e whasauta e mata tō whanau la iti. E whaonga o mawa noa e ele whasauta inga whanau.
Paftai mo le paso mai fo I le fasili le watu inatu I o le foi le o le e peo le technology le e vai kaimi nei. It's access from everywhere. So you talk about shutting down Wi-Fi, but pretty much every kids have a phone now, you know what I'm saying? So they have a telephone, you probably shut the Wi-Fi at home and then they go to McDonald's, they have access to the outside world. So you mentioned something about creating safe places for people people they are affected by domestic violence. And can you explain a little bit more about safe places? What's that mean?
Le avanoa saunga le mu. Only safe spaces for people to be able to openly talk and feel safe about it, whatever they want to talk about. We have created a space for our children within our home so they can talk openly whatever they want to talk about. But it's also the duty of parents, is for me as a mother, to create that space for my children to be able to talk openly of what's happening. Because, you know, one thing we can talk to the children at home, but when they leave home, that's when we parents have to be really careful, because, you know, out of home, it's a big world. So ngā wanoa I whātata no me whānau. Ma avele la pata inga o me tutupu I whawhua tō te whale. Alo iei wanoa iei. Wa o tōna I le whale o tōna le whale. Iei fwoi me tutupu I whawhua tō te whale. Le ma whai on tato muli pea ma. Muli tai a tato whānau. Ai e peo lau iei loe as a mother. A tano I whānau tōna le whale. Po whia lava I o iei. I o ama avele ma whauwhanga o le sa tano o me lo tina al mata upulea. So they can take the child out of home and out of the country, but they can never take the country out of a child or a home.
Whawhtai. O le ala o e tala noa le whoi le in whamatalanga le mea o tō manga le whata mo le o le whoinga le whausi o tō manga e whoi le e feel safe wa ia tamaiti foi ia po e foi o mawhatia po e o lo fia tala noa a le mwhai o tala noa issues pa pia ma lau whesini la ia te oe le o a tonu a la ia foi ia safe places. Give me an example of a safe place, like a safe place that you create at home for your children now.
Well, I have encouraged my children to come and talk about things that bothers them. It doesn't matter how severe that is. They at least they can feel safe and comfortable to come and talk about it. So e le time yo le, po le alawan mi lo mafatia te mai titi. E te tala lewa noa ma ia langona te mai titi ma fana fana. Ma le sao loto. E ma fai una sao tala noa ma ia te au se mi o lo le fifi ai po so se mi alawa. Wa e fo ita mai te le fa pia no se mi le fifi ai sao tala noa. E fo fisili ai e te tala lewa noa e sao loto al te mai titi sao e whamatala mai ona ma whauwhaunga o ona langona I mele tupu po tono le fale po whafo atu le fale po tono a onga wai e hui me te tupu I ala tau boi le a onga e ono a awhia e fo le whanau ai atatala le wanoa le I lo te mai titi e e lunga saunga le mu e whaatala tala noa e mea lo mamawhai le mawhau whau I tono le fale.
So, how confident are you that you well equip your kids to do the right thing and to understand what issues may arise in there and they'll be able up for the challenge?
I can say I am very confident that I have equipped my children with tools to be able to handle what comes their way. But that as a mother, I can say that whether they carry that outside the home. But remember, if you talk with your children and give them the tools to use that outside of home, they will be all right.
Thank you. Just to remind our audience, I'm with our guest today, Bridget Latai. She is a social worker and she also a mother. So if you wish to to ask for her help, you can come through Silafia, our email. We can refer you to her and then she can help you through any issues in regards to domestic violence and also with family violence and whatever you want to ask her. So she's there for our community. Now I want to ask you your role in the health industry as a so'opu. What kind of cases that you involved in with our people, and what you really do when it comes to our people's health?
Mo le au nanga le le fasino le sofu malolo ina mo le o tātou tangata e tangata e whisota I mai e mana mi sosoani pe o le like diabetes po le maisuka o ila ma fai ona whisota e twai na isi tangata o lo ye lato au nanga ye le pokalame Samoa e whaululu e tine Samoa o lātou la e whai awa o ngama whautuanga e tusai ma le whamata upo le maisuka ai o isi fo I fisosoani mna o mia tātou le mele pe watangata ia whala au e mawhaina pe a whapia ona I tangata matua lo I le mawala tau pensiona e mawhaina so ta e le ma Centrelink e le card o le concession card e maua le pau ia pa tau tata matua they automatically eligible for their concession cards so their medication can be cheaper. But most of the time o lai o ye foi fo mai tātou Samoa pe ona I tangata e mana o vai fo mai Samoa. Ia. O nā lai o au la ia e su e mai le numera tātou fo mai Samoa ia. O le mea lana e mawhaina awatu ai pe o Dr. Patu whate tainga. Ia le numera mawhaina ave in po whea ia le klinika Dr. Patu. Le klinika Dr. Patu I Blacktown. E ave ina tau tangata matutua e mawhaina fisota I lato pe su aso fo I vai fo mai Samoa.
O te iroa ele o se fo mai, au te fia fesile te o wao mei o whanzia al malo, so swani I mo a me se o ngā wa I mentioning ia concession cards fo ia mo nai o tātou tangata. Au le, o le si mea fia fesile atu wai. O le mele o le Medicare card system o le bulk bill e isa o malamlama la iki le kulanga le. I me ia wai
I think there's a threshold. If you earn up to a certain amount, then you're not eligible for a concession card that makes your medication cheaper. But if you're requesting for a referral to see a specialist, now every specialist, none of them are free, or some of them can be bulk billed, but most of them you have to pay out of pocket. But that's including the pensioners. For pensioners, they have to pay the specialist to see them out of pocket. Yeah.
Wa o i whakaikainga na me sa tupu ia o ane no wara foi vaila o fōma. Ai whai mai fōma i a o kia vaila specialist. I have to do I think it was a colonoscopy. A colonoscopy? Yeah, for all the men out there, I recommended you to go and do a colonoscopy. Yeah, a colonoscopy, and it was for my mene vava ai te tono o te tulovo, i te tono lo manava. Yeah, wo i whawhita ori fo i ai ni tupu wa pe o lao ngana na o le mele o le colonoscopy. Ai toi fo i la lau whamatalanga i le fo i le o waru va ai le fo mai. Because ala wa masanga au ala wala vai forma I mala Medicare card fa au ala wa e pe e le tongi stup me nga le skali mala ko health system it depend on the Medicare card system a o wako lola I find my lola kama lo I can refer and I refer lo au le forma le specialist I find my cover me ka o le bulk bill. Well, a bulk bill is a part of Medicare or no?
I think when they say bulk bill, that's when you use your Medicare and it's covered by Medicare.
Medicare is covered by
But some of the bulk billing is that to some extent, see, it's a specialist at tongi to pay. But for a biola, suggest that to a for my. You know, we cover Medicare under the bulk billing.
The reason why I brought up this discussion when it comes to Medicare, because there's a lot of someone out there that I know that ele lama ke le bulk bill ma le health care or the concession and the private insurance and everything. I know you're not an expert in this area, but you might have a little bit of understanding as an advocate for our people, that we can direct our people into, especially those are really in need of, they don't have the financial support, but we can direct them to the right service. Can you talk a little bit about that? Your understanding in that area or not?
Sorry, but we have to maybe next time that will be our next guest to get from the health industry.
If you're out there and you are an expert in this area, please contact Silafia, and then we can actually talk about this, because I think it's relevant to understand. Even myself, I have limited understanding of the system here, and that's the reason why this program has come about. It's for people like myself, have no clue about most of the stuff out there and the service that we can access as Australian citizen, like everybody else, have the right to access that. So that's the whole of the. I'll tell you a story of myself when I first came here in Australia. If I know what I know now. Now, when I first came to this country a few years ago, I'll be in a far better position. I can say that, you know what I'm saying? But no regrets on my behalf. What I learned from my journey through life here, it makes me who I am today, But my advice for our people out there, they just arrive, there are ways that we can go through and learn, and Silafia will provide that platform. A safe platform for all our people, not just on the domestic violence issue, but other issues as well. You know what I'm saying? When I did a lot of bad things in my life, and I did some good things in my life. You know what I mean? It's part of my journey. I did a favor for a friend. I'm not going to discuss that on the program. Through an assault because I wanted to save him from deporting back. But that decision I made at the time had a huge impact on my life here because I made that choice to save somebody else, use my name, just to protect somebody else that committed an assault. But I want you people to make sure that you make the right choices and understand consequences because it does have a very big impact on my life in what I wanted to do. I have a criminal record there which affect me, but that's all part of life. You know what I mean? And my advice: do the right thing and make sure you have legal advice. Our people too, they tend to have that laid back kind of, and then when you confront it with something, we also kind of agree to it. You know what I mean? You know why? Because we don't want to go through, when it comes to legal issues, we want to move on. But, make that choice right now. Especially young men, they done the wrong thing, or maybe they didn't do the wrong thing, but they're being accused of doing the wrong thing. Fight for your right. We are lucky that we're living in Australia, that we have all the services the governments provide for us. You know what I mean? So I want everybody to have the equal opportunity. That's my vision. Not because you're rich, you can have the opportunity. Not because you're smart, you can have the opportunity. But people like myself, that the everyday kind of person that works hard, work in a factory or work as a labor, we should have the same opportunity. That's what democracy is all about. We can tap into this. So for those people out there, you think that you don't get the help, legal, health, family issues and all that, this is what Silafears is all about, is to make sure that we provide that opportunity for those kind of people they're out there. So is there anything else you want to... I think we only got 10 minutes left.
No, I just want to... Yeah, lini taimi e peiole furasanga sunga ile whaetetenga for your tatou decision makings. Ele awhia I tatou na long-term impact. Yeah. Ole au nanga le nei fsosoani la matau pu pe fsota ai oi se tangata fsosoani la matau so ila matau ma fa manino ma fa tata no ai e pe yo mi tu punia tato so ma yali lo failo lo statements e oi sai ni lima ale le la watu la wa ya tata ya pe te malam na ma fo le fa pala ni po le english ele wa e oi ma e sai ni ai le yo la mata upu le ofisa famasino e o atu la mata upu e te lo to pe wo to titi a to se fulu o moli angai ale le fa famasino e o le anga le ne o le au nanga an Silafia e so tai o itanga tai ya mo lo fo itanga tama itanga tai so soani le mata upu ma fa la lo atu ai le ta walo ayata mo lo mala ai te le yo le famasinonga ia pasota email Silafia @gmail.com ile email so soani toya ta oile au nanga fatava multa to tangata anu po ai lava na mi so soani ile fa pe foi na le ofisa famasinonga po ai lava le mana mi so soani so se mata opu so tai mai a fa pe foi le mafaina o te le malam na mo ni o na e foi na tangata ma to te so tai I ma faina refer I la mata upu ia ma le faa alo la whawhawhatai.
Ia whawhawhatai, ia. So whamanato atu re tātou tātou au mai moa, po e whai olo o maua mani po kalami. Whātaua ia te aule, ia le talanoanga le nau talanoa atu ai, ia o tātou whai unga ma mea tātou te whai nei, ia tauana tātou whai wane mauti noa, awane ia whaina ia lou tangata I lulu manai, ia po a whaina I lou ainga, o le ia o au nanga whapene o e whai lo whauwhau tua, e avatu i a tātou whaia le. E peon sa nore tina ia pit. A iaini mea foi e ua te tupu a e mana o mia le fisoswani por fautuanga whaale tūla fon. E pe e sini e on tātou o mo mua e mai fautuanga ia a o tātou te whanongo longo o tātou whapea oi. E ni lei al tali wawe atu lo wha o matua i alo ese ai lea mata le whawhita au i le ai. E tāwan tātou malamlama i o tātou rights. O mea tātou tino nofo i atu nu whapea nei. We all have rights. And those rights we have to understand, and we have to make sure and be patient that we go through the same process like everybody else. I thank you, Bridget, for your taking the time off. But ve ia nei taimi po le taimi le tawai le whaalalo atu ai le mamalu o le o e o lo maua mai le pokalame ai fo se upu o sala. Ia po se upu o le maania i lau whaafonga ana. Ia pe ona tā ua e poto lawa le tau tai ai se sela nā atu iama. Ia ai a vea ia le nei ama noa. Ia tu ai le whaafitai i tau longo foi. Ia me se foi ia whaasoa le tina nei. Ia ai manu e tele ia ngā luenga le nei vai aso. Ia me se foi nei aso na Yesu. Amen.